Hey guys, it is Darren, and today we're going to go through a really cool and valuable cold email system which you can take yourself, push this into your business, and book more meetings at the end of it. So, most people these days are struggling to get replies from their cold emails. Everyone's taking lists, from Apollo, taking 5,000 people, pushing that into their email sequencer, push and send, and hoping that they get something back in return. The problem is they're getting nothing back in return. If anything, they're actually damaging their reputation by doing it because they're blocking their email domains, they're landing in spam, and they're just getting the domain blocked by the end of it, which no one wants. They're also getting terrible replies from these prospects telling them to F off, and it's just super long-winded, all this manual scraping, and just wondering at the end of it, does cold email actually work? Now, the good thing is, I've been through the struggles myself. I've many times I've taken out lists. I've sent them through an email domain, and I've had a number of warnings from Google telling me that my account's going to get suspended, and it's pretty scary. So what we're going to do within this video here is really show you the best system for sending out cold emails, sending them safely, making them relevant and personalized to your prospect, and then reporting on them at the end to figure out how to even figure out if these emails are performing well, or if we need to look at tweaking one or two things to then improve that rate of meetings being booked by the end. So without further ado, let's jump into the system here. What we're going to do here, and step number one is finding out, or the biggest challenges that we find right now within cold email is as follows. It has also been the case for many years, but if we can nail these things down, that make our chances of success a lot higher into the future. So step one, who the heck are we contacting? So first of all, you need to figure out, well, what are you selling? What's your product? What's your service? Write out who your ideal customers are from there, where they live. It'll be things like if it's a company, how many employees within the company, what their turnover is. Finding that is important. So taking time, really fleshing this one out, which we'll go through in a bit more detail, is important. Where will you find their details? So we want to have accurate and verified contact information for these prospects. We then want to make sure that we're sending the emails to these people very safely, and we're not being put in spam or blacklisted, because once you get blacklisted, that's it. You need to then make a brand new domain, which takes a bit of time to set up, and it's annoying. And then finally, where can we then add more people into this campaign? There are ways we can automate this. So yeah, we'll go through some strategies on that one as well. Now, this system here is not only cost effective, it's scalable and it's automated. So by having it cost effective, you can literally set this thing up for about £100, $100 per month. You can scale this really quickly. So once you've figured out the thing's working, you can then add in more emails, you can send out more, and then you can figure out how many more meetings you're booking on the back end of that. And then one of the main things for me is the automated part of it. So if we can do this, if we set the system up one time, then we can push this through many times. We can automate the process, and then we can let this run in the background and give us a bit more chance to then focus on maybe some other segments, or hopefully be in way more sales calls because we're booking way more meetings. Now, if you want an analogy, I could break this down for you as well, but let's just imagine that you have a lemonade stand and you've produced the best lemonade in the whole entire world, and you want people to then try your lemonade. So you need to find people who are thirsty and want to try your lemonade. So once you've found some thirsty people, let them know that your lemonade exists. So you want to then outreach to these people. That could be in the form of standing on the corner of your street and people walk past and they want to try your lemonade. If you're in the right place at the right time, then people will pay for what you have. And following that, you then want to track who's buying your lemonade, and performance tracking will come at the end of that. It's a bit of a loose analogy for what we're trying to do here with the cold emails, but I guess it's more just business related, kind of sales and marketing. You need people to sell to. How do you find them, and how do you track what the performance is on the end of that? So What our system's going to do is find the leads, reach out to these people, and then track everything to then show more people our products or services. What tools do we need? So the tools which are advised is something like an Apollo.io. Apollo is just a massive database of people, potential leads. Arguably one of the better ones. I've used a lot of these before in the past, but I think Apollo has been my favorite. Also for Apollo, we don't even need to pay for a subscription. What we're going to do is use something called exportapollo.io, and it'll then extract the leads that we have within Apollo and give you that CSV file to then, start off with your outreach. You're going to want to use something like an Instantly or a SmartLead. My preference has always been Instantly. I've used them for a couple of years now, but SmartLead, I know they do the same thing. What they could do is send emails at scale and also maintaining that high deliverability, which is what we need. It's perfect. Something like a make.com, which I use for my reporting at the end. So once I've got everything pushed into Instantly, I can then export that, get my analytics, and figure out where I might need to make a tweak or two. And then the final thing, I have an Airtable, which then takes all that information from Instantly, and then it can process that data and get all the insights. To be honest, you don't need Airtable. You could use an Excel sheet. So pick and choose whichever you wish. Now, step number one, I'll take you through some of the theoretical stuff, and then we will get into the build and how this thing functions. So who even is your ideal customer? I really want you to take some time and think about this one, because it's one of the more important steps. We need to figure out who we're reaching out to and what we're going to say to these people. So some of the pointers to think of, just the standard stuff, will be here. But what we want to do is find the right audience, speak to them in their language, and then the goal of the cold email is to sound like we already know who they are. Speak to them about their pain points and really gain their trust. That's the key thing within cold emails, is gaining someone's trust. You think about it. If you send out an email to someone, they have no idea who you are. You just say, "Hello, John. Hope you're doing well. Please can you book a meeting with me and I could show you my product? Thank you, Darren." They just tell you where to go. No one cares about that. You have to speak very clearly to their problems. If you can articulate their problems better than they can, they'll trust you better. The more you give to them up front, don't be annoying. Don't send out these 300-word emails which just look like spam. There's a whole art of this as well, and I'll take you through some more bits on this as well. Now, how we then define your ICP? So there's like the industry that they're in. Is it tech? Is it construction? Is it real estate? Is it a mid-market? Is it an enterprise level business that you want to speak with? Who are the job titles? Are you specifically speaking with marketing teams, or are you speaking with operation leaders? Get clear on this as well. If you could be very clear on the job description, it will make your list really targeted and resonate better with the target audience. Things like the revenue, are they small business or are they a growth business? Are they exceeding 100 million per year? And what are their pain points? This bit here is extremely, extremely important. Again, like I just said, if you can articulate their pain points, then it'll be so much easier to then get something booked in with these people. So an example of this will be things like SaaS companies in the UK who have between 10 and 100 employees. You want to target people like CEOs, CMOs, maybe growth managers. Their pain points right now might be booking to struggle calls, terrible conversion rates, and maybe just a bit of a complicated or weak outreach strategy, which you could help them with. And then what is your solution? How will you pitch this to them? So an automated lead gen system to increase conversions, something like that is not terrible. So once we've defined who our target audience is, now let's go through this in a live demonstration. So step number one, sign into Apollo, make yourself an account if you've not got one already. Go into Apollo and then click on people. And then on your left-hand side is here where you can then begin to filter this down. So let's just say I want to target companies who are in the UK. So location. And then here, United Kingdom. And you'll see on the right-hand side here, now we'll get the list will filter down to only companies in the UK. We'll then get all the people here. We then want to filter this down for job titles. Let's say we just want to target. We will go for CROs. Chief Revenue Officers. So CROs in the UK. Okay, we've got 1,187 of these. And let's just say we want to go for companies who have less than 200 employees. So we'll click on these filters. One. Okay, we'll keep it, that's fine. But you get the idea that we'll take it from here now. We've got 177 people who now fit this criteria for them reaching out to. So what we then do is take this list. We then want to go into export Apollo.io. And then within here, we will only get our leads. So typically, and the reason we do this, I should have mentioned, is Apollo will charge you hundreds of dollars to export your lead lists. And if you can do it cheaply, which in this instance you can, then you're getting a cheap alternative. You're going to get your list of leads extracted, and then you can start your outreach. It's a nice kind of cheap and simple hack. Obviously, if you're a bigger business and you've got more money to play around with, yeah, get yourself a nice Apollo account. But if not, Export Apollo works absolute wonders. So you click into here. I just click on place an order as a guest. They'll push you through to a type form, and all you got to do is push in so things like your name. Service is going to be an Apollo scraper. Okay, it's just blah, 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 blah. You got to put your email in here because this is what they send you the CSV to at the end of it. So chuck that in there, blah, blah, blah. And then this point here is where you put in your filter criteria for Apollo. Sorry, the URL. You want to tag it, that's the way you want to call it, whatever name, and go through this process until you get to the end. Put in your card details, submit it, and then you'll get your list through from Export Apollo. Now, once you have your list, it's going to look something like this. This is one that I done recently, and you'll have things like their first name, their last name, LinkedIn URL, the company, their title, so on and so forth. And the main thing you want to obviously have is their email address, so we can then begin the outreach to those people. So email addresses, which you could see, I have them all here. And from there, now we've got our lead list of people that we can now begin reaching out to. We then want to start off with our automated outreach. There's so many other things we could do kind of in the background here as well. I know there's a tool out there called Clay.com. Clay allows you to make these really nice specific emails that you can send out personalized and also at scale. That will likely be a video for later. Today is just going to keep it simple, kind of go through like a nice, quick, easy way of you getting your emails just working better than you would if you were sending out a massive blast and using that through your own domain. So what we're then going to do is go into Instantly. Instantly, if you've not used this before, I can do a deeper video on Instantly. I think it's the best tool for email outreach. I think it's great. And within here, what we want to do is add a new campaign. Click on Add New. Call the campaign name whatever you wish. Let's just call it UW YouTube. YouTube. Yes. And then you then add your leads into your campaign. So click on add leads. I'll just enter 1 or 2 manual leads just for the sake of this video. But this is where you'd import your CSV that you had received from Export Apollo. I'll just add these, blah, blah, blah. And this is where this gets good. So if you work in a team of, many salespeople, you can ensure that you're not sending out the same email that's already received in a campaign or within a list. Instantly allows you to do this, where if you have some lead already in a campaign, you can ensure that you've got no duplicates within that. Same with your lists and same within the workspace. Now, the next thing that I strongly advise you do is verify those leads. So in order to not get blocked or spam, filtered down from the likes of Google or Outlook, click on verify your leads. This is going to, in the background within Instantly, what they'll do is ensure that these email addresses are verified, ensure that you can safely send it to these people, which therefore means that your bounce rate will be low, and then your deliverability will be higher, which is obviously exactly what you want within sending out your emails. So import those emails. I do it if my subscription allowed me to, but this is an example of a campaign that I've run in the past. So if we take this one, you'll see the leads I had, and it's going to tell you the emails, it's going to tell you the status, the contact details, so on and so forth. And within here, you can then understand and make a sequence. So this one may look fairly confusing because there's lots of different kind of curly brackets and random words, but this is what they call the Spintax. Now, Spintax is going to be a kind of a mechanism which randomizes the order of which the text will be sent. So sometimes I might say, hello, Darren. Sometimes I might say, hi there, Darren. Other times I might just say, Darren. And the more randomized that you have with this, the less likely you'll have of being blocked from, your email service provider. But if you click on preview, you'll see, Amir, I know it's a cold email, blah, blah, blah. If I click it one more time, you'll see it now says, hello, Amir, blah, blah, blah. And that's really the gist of it. Now, don't worry too much about this formatting. You can do it all within Instantly itself. The way you would do that would be taking, let's just say, thank you very much. And if I take this, and if I click on AI tools, click on AI Spintax, again, I need to upgrade my plan, but what Instantly would do is do this all automatically for you. And also, if you don't have the upgraded version of Instantly, just copy all this stuff in here, put it into ChatGPT, and ask them to put Spintax on this email for you. It's as simple as that. Okay. So make your emails, go for your campaigns, say what you want to say. If you do want some tips on kind of more personalization and maybe some more of the best tips for the emails. So I think there's probably 3 main points of a cold email which you want to try and touch upon. So first things first is relevance. Making sure that email speaks directly to that prospect is absolute number one. Even if you've got nothing personalized within that email, if that email is super relevant to the prospect, you will absolutely see your email reply rates being increased. Now, if you've got nothing that relevant to say to them, you then want to try down, maybe the next waterfall approach down would be personalizing the email. So things like, always make sure you've got the first name, making sure you know who the company is, personalizing if you maybe have seen on their LinkedIn that they've just received a job promotion, announcing these within the email is fine, kind of a personalized touch. But if you have no relevance, if you've got nothing personalized, do something recent. So again, that could be things like if you know that they live within London, maybe you know that they support Arsenal FC. Maybe mention something about the score. It's a little bit creepier, to be honest. Use that one a little bit more, cautiously. But yeah, that's kind of the third one. To be honest, I got all these strategies from a chap named Eric Nowoslavsky. He is a GTM, kind of an outreach expert. He has released a document that's about 120 pages long. It's his full email outreach playbook. It's fantastic. It's where I've learned pretty much everything I needed to know about reaching out to people, about Instantly, about, everything this guy will mention. It's extremely good. So I can link it in this document if you want it. I'll leave the document in the description below as well. Now, an example of an outreach message for sending out would be things like a subject line. So subject line is where you want to ensure that the deliverability is above a certain threshold. Making sure that they click on your email is important. And then saying things like, hey, Darren, I saw that your company is focused on something. We built a system that helps companies like yours. And then a specific benefit. It could be book 3 times more sales calls without any manual work. Would it be useful if I showed you how it works? Let me know and I could send over some more details. Best, Darren. Simple, light touch. It's not, it's not just asking them to book a call with you. It's kind of saying, if you are interested, let me know and then we can take it forward. And these are ones typically which work fairly well. Now, the final section of this whole system would then be taking all the details that you've now received. So you've started sending off your emails. From the emails that you're sending, you can then check, directly within your sending tool, like Instantly. It's going to tell you all the details, like how many you've sent, your open rates, your click-through rates, and any other metrics that you require. Now, what I do myself is use Make.com, and I extract all the details from my campaigns, because I think the more advanced you become with these, the more that you will spin up, the more campaigns that you'll run. You'll see for here, I've got quite a few campaigns. And also, if you are running a cold email agency, then in order for you then to keep a track of your clients, you're going to need something a bit more centralized. And for that, I use an Airtable, which I take out all the data within here at a high level. I can then see what's performing well, what might need tweaked. And then if something is performing badly, I can then take that forward, then make the tweaks accordingly from there. And the Airtable looks something like this. So for mine, I can see all the campaigns that I've got running. I can see all the leads that I've pushed into that campaign, the percentage of the leads which are currently in progress, how many have been contacted, how many have not yet been contacted. And then I can see things like my open rates. Obviously, if open rates were beneath a certain percentage, you need to go in and fix that. I then got things like, is my deliverability above my KPI, 40%? It's a yes, no, or no data. I've then got a positive reply KPI to see how many replies have I received. Positive reply percentage, is it greater than 0.2%? Yes, no. If no, then go in and make some tweaks. Your campaign IDs. You can also assign that against the clients you're working with as well. So I've built out this whole system. Again, if you want to see more details on how I would track that and have like a whole reporting Airtable for like a cold email agency, I've also built something like that where you could click and say, who is the client you're working with, and then you can get some of the nice metrics for that client as well. And then I will now show you how I will then push this stuff through. So I'm using Make.com, and what I'm doing is I'm calling the Instantly API. So I'm calling the campaign list, the list of campaigns. I'm getting that. I'm then iterating through the list of campaigns that I have using the body of the previous step. And again, feel free to pause this video if you want to go through and check some of the URLs and the processing that I've done within here. I'm then taking through the campaign analytics of the ID which I've received from the iterator, calling the body, iterating through the campaigns, searching if that campaign ID already exists within my Airtable. And the way I do that is by selecting the base, then the table, And then the formula would be if the campaign ID is equal to the campaign ID within the body. And then the final thing we're going to do is route them to say, if it exists, then just update it. So it's going to periodically update that as and when I want it to, maybe every hour, maybe every day. Or if it doesn't exist, it's going to come along this path and then create that record within my Airtable. And the formula you would push within here would be if the total number of bundles is equal to 0, then create a new record. If the total number of bundles is greater than 0, then update that record. And that's simply it. Now, if you see me running this, you'll see that if I add in, I think I added one to Darren YouTube or something, click on one once, and as that's running, you will see in here, it's added it already. And as I get more data, you'll see these things begin to move around. You can get really creative with this as well. You could have within your automation things such as send you an email if a campaign is dropped below a certain deliverability. You could do things like send Slack messages if you have a team of people to say the deliverability is dropped below 30%. Get someone in to check what the issue is, or if you've received a new lead, you could send that lead directly to your email, or you could, there's so many possibilities within here which you can then do. And it's a really, really good little system that you can take in and then use that within your business. Now, this can get way more detailed and, I guess, complicated, but I think by starting off with this is a really, really good step to avoid yourself getting banned from your sending out the emails. Also, Instantly makes it super simple. They've got a really good help guide within their tool, so check that out. And I hope this helps you book a few more meetings for your business. And if there's anything at all you want me to start producing, and maybe you want me to dive a bit deeper into one or two of these concepts, let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to do so, and I hope this has helped. I'll see you next time. Thank you.